we are halfway through the year, which means we are halfway through 2-year-long reading challenges that I decided to participate in at the beginning of the year. And I thought this would be a good time to sit down, look, see how I'm doing, because truly I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I was doing a good job or not. A little bit of a spoiler alert, it's iffy, but let's sit down, let's chat about the 2 challenges and see the progress I have made in the first 6 months of 2025. The 2-year-long challenges I decided to participate in were Buzzword, which included Buzzword and Buzz Cover. I'm going to kind of combine them into one challenge, even though they are kind of like 2 parts of one challenge. And then also 25 and 25. These are both challenges I have done many years in the past, but especially this year with 25 and 25, I'm participating in Bree's bingo board from 4 Paws in a Books. So I have specific prompts for each one of these challenges, and I made videos at the beginning of the year. You can go back and look at them. I'll put them somewhere. And they have specific books that I picked for each prompt. So we're going to take it line by line with the bingo board, month by month with Buzzword, and see how I'm doing, see which books I've read, see which ones I haven't, and kind of remind myself that I need to read the books that I haven't, because I only have 6 months to do so. So for the first line of Bree's bingo board for 25 and 25, here were my choices. So I had Out of the Woods for 2025 release, Rewitched for a 1-word title. This book is a placeholder for Trust of the Emerald Sea, which I had for a book involving travel. The last one by Rachel Housel Hall was for a number in the title. And Blood of Hercules was a cover by. Now, out of this stack, I have read or attempted to read 2 of them. So I filled 2 spots on the bingo board because I am counting DNFs as completed. For me, you can choose whether that works for you, but for me, it's going to count with both Buzzword and with 25 and 25. So Out of the Woods, we're starting off strong with this one though, with a 5-star read. I loved this book. I had a great time. It could be one of my best books of the year. The other 3 I have yet to touch. We haven't read those yet. And then Blood of Hercules, a lot of people may not know this because I don't think this vlog ever saw the light of day, but I DNF Blood of Hercules at about, I'm going to say 140 pages, 150 pages in. I don't quite remember at this point. I really liked the beginning of this, actually, which was surprising how quickly it turned. I really liked the beginning. And then when we got to like the actual like academy where she was going to be with the Spartans, it turned into like a bully romance. And I do not like bully romances. Had I known that, and it was a cover by, so I didn't know a lot about this book, hence why I'm using it for that prompt of cover by. Had I known more about this book, known it was a bully romance, I wouldn't have picked it up to begin with. Then we have line 2, and we have a season for second chances, which is to read a seasonal book in the season that it's set. So winter hasn't come, so I have no plans on reading this till winter anyway. Then we have a placeholder for Queerly Beloved, which was for LGBTQ rep. I ended up DNFing that book. I do have, I think, a vlog where I DNF this, but it wasn't a romance. It was sent out and published as a romance, but we saw so little of the love interest. And honestly, I just couldn't get behind these 2 characters because I never saw one of them. The next book is First Time Caller, which was for, hold on, I forgot to look. Favorite author's newest release, which I have yet to read. I have no excuses. I don't know how I haven't read First Time Caller. Emily Wilde for a hyped book. I haven't read that either. And Heartless Hunter was for color of the year. It matches the Goodreads color of the year. Actually, I had to pick this after the video came out because I was still waiting to find out what Goodreads color of the year was. So now you know, I put Heartless Hunter in there, which is on my book for the summer TBR. So I should be reading this fairly soon. But that means out of this stack, I actually technically have read 1, but it was a DNF. So only 1, but I didn't even finish the one that I read. But after that, we get to a moment of triumph, a line of triumph, because I have actually gotten a bingo on this bingo board, and it's this line right here. I have read or attempted to read every book in this stack, and 2 of them were 5-star reads. So like it was a good time reading this stack as well. We have Ace of Spades for POC author. This one I read for the 5-star exchange project with Leandra, Rainey, and Kelsey, and I gave this a 5-star. Oh wait, no, I gave this 5 stars too. That means there's 3 5 stars in this stack. I miscounted. Oh, friends, this was a really good stack, honestly. It was a good stack mostly. Really, really good stack. Then we have Forever Wild for a novella. I believe I gave this 4 stars. I had a good time with this. It was like a little holiday Christmas novella set in the Simple Wild series. My 5-star prediction of Faithbreaker was a 5-star. We love to see it. This ended up being a 5-star series for me. Every single book in the series is 5 stars. For a comped book, I did Unsteady because it is often comped to Icebreaker, which you know I love Icebreaker. And if you haven't known, I love Unsteady. I gave this 5 stars. Definitely could be a possibility for best books of the year. It was so good. A lot of these are possibilities. Actually, all 3 of these are possibilities for best books of the year. This is a really great stack. The final one is a placeholder for Blood Mercy, which I read on Kindle. And by read, I maybe made it just over 100 pages. The writing style of that really, it was a writing style thing solely. Like I did not like the writing style, could not get into it. And I DNF'd that book as part of my every romantasy TBR. So technically I have I've gotten a bingo because I'm counting DNFs, but yeah, this stack was great. However, following that amazing line and that amazing bingo, we have a line that I've done less well with. So the first one is a placeholder for Consider Me by Becca Mack. This book was for the over 400 pages prompt, and I have DNF'd that and unhauled it at this point as part of a try a chapter. I tried a couple chapters in this book and immediately knew it was not going to work for me and unhauled that. And it is the only one in this stack that I have attempted. The rest of these I have not touched. We have Bloodguard for special edition, Impossible Creatures for chapter titles, 5-letter word for love for a debut author, and Weather Girl for mental health rep. I haven't read any of these. I'm going to. I have 6 more months. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So for the final line of Bree's 25 and 25 bingo board, I have The Hanging City, which is a placeholder at this moment in time for the book The Hanging City because I have it on Kindle and can't put it in this stack. And I have not read that. That one is for Snake on the Cover. For self-published, we have Portal Painter. I have not read that. For new to me author, I read Spark of the Everflame, which I gave 5 stars. And I will say, as you look at this, you will see one of 2 things. I either DNF the book really fast or, pretty quickly because I knew it wasn't working for me, or it was a 5-star read. Like I've had so many 5 stars or DNFs, which I think is showing that I'm quicker to DNF books that I'm not liking to get to the books that I'm loving. And I don't think that's a bad thing. For TBR Vet, we have Murder in the Family, and this is still a TBR Vet because I still have yet to read this. And for From Another Challenge, we have Where the Dark Stands Still. I believe this is from my Our Fantasy TBR, but like my Our Fantasy TBR from last year because I was still working on that when I made this list. And unfortunately, I didn't read it in the correct amount of time. So now that we've actually gone through the lines and seen which ones I have read and which ones I haven't, it has come out that I have read 9 out of 25 books, which seems low and is not 50%, but it is 36%. And I think that's better than I thought I did going into this, honestly. I'm not that far off the 50% mark, just a couple of books. I think 12 books, 12 and a half books technically is 50%. So, I'm only about 3 books off the goal here of 50% going into the second half of this year. I'm not mad at that. And again, there was a lot of books in 25 and 25 that I really enjoyed. So that's a win. Now it's time to look at Buzzword. And I do not think I've done as well on Buzzword as I have done on this, but maybe I'm wrong. Before we look into the Buzzword challenge, obviously the Buzzword is broken down into months. I never, ever claim to read the books in the months they are assigned. My goal is just to read them by the end of the year. So I'm going to be talking about them like I did with the lines, January, February, March, but know that my intention is just to read these by the end of the year and not to read them in the specific months. So I may have read ones from months that haven't happened yet and not read ones from months that have, and that was my plan all along. So just wanted to put that out there. So I have January here already, and for January for the buzzword, we needed to read a book with truth or lies. I have already read Everyone Here Is Lying, which was my plan, and I have unhauled it, so I don't have it here. So I just grabbed another Sherry Lupita to kind of like hold its place. And then for patterns, I have Wild is the Witch, which as of recording this, I have not read this. However, it is tentatively on my TBR for Weekend at Timmy's, which starts not tomorrow, in 2 days. No, it starts tomorrow. I am horrible with knowing what day of the week it is. Does anybody else like live and work from home and just like never know what day of the week it is? Anyway, it's fine. It starts tomorrow. This is tentatively on my TBR. So if I have time this weekend, I will be reading this. I have to read the B&K Book Club first, and then this is my second read. So if I get to 2 books, it will be Wild is the Witch. So there's a possibility that by the end of this weekend, I will have completed both of these. But as of right now, we're just going to count the one. I'm like matching my February stack, and I didn't even know I was going to be. But for February, we have these 2 books. For water words, I have Meet Me at the Lake, which I have not read yet. And for Skyline on the cover, I have What the Cat Dragged In, which you have not seen this vlog yet, I don't think. Again, I'm in the middle of finishing it up. I only have 1 book left, so you may have seen this vlog. But as of right now, as of filming it, the vlog is not done. So I don't want to say for sure that you've seen this, but I just read this just a couple of weeks ago. I'm not going to tell you what I thought because I don't know if that vlog's out. For March, we have Something Wilder for the word thing in the title, and also A Study in Drowning for books on the cover. I've not read either of these. For April, we have Animal times 2, so animal in the title and animal on the cover. I have Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove for animal word. Obviously, dove and raven are both animals. I have not read that. We have a placeholder for The Hanging City because I have it on the Kindle, and that has a snake on the cover, hence why it's on 2025, and it works for this as well. So technically, when I read The Hanging City, I will complete 2 different spots on 2 different boards. So I need to get to this. But as of right now, I've read neither of these. For May, the first book needed to have the word to in the title, and I have To Shape a Dragon's Breath, which I have already tried, and I just wanted a lot more fantasy. It was a lot more historical, and I wanted more fantasy, so I ended up DNFing that book, and I've already unhauled it. And for Eyes on the Cover, I did Collide, mostly because I did not think I had any books with like just an eyeball on the cover. Come to find out, that was incorrect because I've actually read 2 this year that just have eyeballs on the cover, Diviners and Magic for Liars. So technically I've completed this prompt twice, more in the reason and way the prompt was meant to be than Collide is. But I'm going to still say that I need to read Collide. And then at the end of the year, if I don't, I'll slide in one of the 2 books that are technically even more the prompt. But I kind of do want to read this hockey romance, and this will keep it at the forefront of my mind. So we're going to leave it there. Say I've read 1 out of 2 because I'm counting DNFs, and call that whatever month this is. What month is this? June? May. This is May. For June, we have The Forgotten Book, which I do not own a physical copy of, and I have yet to read it. I think because I don't have a physical copy, it is keeping me from getting it because I don't have it on my Kindle either. So I need to either get a Kindle copy or get a physical copy so that I'm seeing it in my line of sight to actually read the book. However, there's a lot of books that I haven't read on these stacks that I do own. So like this is me just making excuses at this point, probably, most likely. It's fine. We have Stranger Skies, which was for, I'm going to have to look. I forget now. Celestial things on the cover. That's what it was. Oh, The Forgotten Book was for Memory, by the way. This one was for Celestial on the cover. This is the sequel to a book that I really, really, really enjoyed, Curious Tides. And I still haven't read this. And I think it's because I'm nervous to continue the series. I don't know why. I love the first book. I need to just dive into this. Do I need to reread the first book? Maybe. Not sure. We'll see. The third book's going to be out like next year. So like I need to be ready. Anyway, I haven't read either of these is the long and the short of it. For July, we have Check Please for Punctuation, graphic novel. I did read this. I did not love this. I gave it a 3-star. Didn't hate it. Didn't love it. It was very mid for me. And then We Just Clicked, which I believe is for technology on the cover. I have yet to read this. Haven't picked this up yet. So 50% here for the month of July. For August, I had plans to read Enemies with Benefits for the word with in the title. This is a placeholder. I have it on my Kindle. Have not read it. And for Transportation on the cover, I have Bringing Down the Duke, which has a horse on the cover. This I have yet to read. It's part of my Advent books from last December. I do kind of have the goal of finishing out all my Advent books before I start opening more Advent books, but we'll see. I have read nothing from September. I told you I knew I wasn't doing well on Buzzword. I need help. I need assistance. Someone needs to force me. And the first one is Death at the Party for an Event in the title. This I'm pretty sure is also on my These Books Will Self-Destruct. So like I need to read this. And then The Fiancé Dilemma is for Foliage on the cover. My plan was always to read this in summer because it is a super summery read. So now that it is summer, it's time to actually dive into this romance. For October, we have another book that if I read it would knock out a prompt for 25 and 25, and that's Murder in the Family for, I believe, a violent word in the title. And then I have These Violent Delights for a weapon on the cover. I have read neither of these. For November, we have Lost in the Neverwoods for the word never on the cover, or in the title, that's the word. And I have not read this. But Bookshops and Bone Dust for food on the cover, I have read. I actually read this for a vlog that the food on the cover made it work for the vlog. I was picking books based off my coffee flavors, and I needed something to match blueberry scone, and there's like a blueberry scone like on the cover of this book. I really love Bookshops and Bone Dust. I mean, it's Travis Baldry. Can't wait for the new book. I've given the other 2 4 stars. I expect to continue on that vein as we go. The next book comes out this fall. Actually, I think even in November, if I remember correctly. So it's funny that I always plan to read this in November, but the new book is coming out at the same time. And for the final month with December, we have The Secret Society of Irregular Witches for an alliterative title. I have not read this. I almost put this on my TBR for Weekend at Timmy's because obviously that is one of the prompts. And as you know, it starts tomorrow, as I said earlier in this vlog or video, and I couldn't get the audio. So that's the only reason this isn't on my Weekend at Timmy's TBR, but that is the reason Wild is the Witch is on that TBR. So either way, I'm working on one of these over the weekend. Then I have the last one, A Lie by Amber Cowie, which is for, nope, not coming to me. Hold on. Oh, monochromatic. It's all like one color of the cover. And I have not read this. This does not have an audio. I've double checked. It doesn't have an audio. And I do think that makes it hard for me to pick it up because I am pretty much an audiobook reader, but I have till the end of the year to give it a try. So as expected, I have not done as well with Buzzword as I have with the other one, and I have only read 5 out of 24 books, which works out to be about 20% read. So I'm definitely not doing as well on this challenge as I am on the others. However, with Buzzword, I'm willing to like go back, see which ones I've accidentally filled and kind of like sub some out closer to the end of the year. But like realistically, I'd like to read all these books. So I need to get on it. This is my turning it around moment. This is the moment where I'm going to remind myself that these are the books I need to read. Maybe I shouldn't be putting them back on my bookshelves. Maybe I should like leave them in a stack somewhere so that like I'm tripping over it versus forgetting about them. I don't know if that would help. Who knows? Maybe. What do you think? How are you doing with your monthly challenges? Be it 25 and 25, be it Buzzword, be it another one that maybe I'm not participating in, but you are. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, but don't have anything to say down in the comments, but want to let me know that you are here, leave me a book stack emoji in support of me stacking my books so that I trip over them, so that I don't forget about them. I don't know. Do you think it's a good idea? Maybe. I feel like putting them back on my shelves, I'm just going to forget about this. So that's a possibility. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.